NBA Straya, how are you going? I hope you're going all right. You bloody well ought to be, because you've started another week, haven't you? It's Monday, July 8. I'm your host, James Clement. You can see me on the AFL Today Show, the official AFL Supercoach podcast, all the good stuff, here in the fancy studios, because I've got a couple of things I want to talk about. What's that, Jim? I can't hear you ask. Well, the Boomers squad got announced, to the point where on Friday I had to do an emergency video that I hope you saw. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more today. I've got a couple of thoughts. Just let it stew over the weekend. Get a couple more quotes into us about from Gorge & Co. Oh boy. We'll also wrap up a little bit of free agency. We've actually got a couple of Aussies who've either been on the move or signed, etc. We've got a 6-team trade. The first in NBA history. That's actually the Klay Thompson deal that's been wrapped up into that. DeMar DeRozan is off to the Kings, etc. So we'll talk about all that as well. We'll do some yeah-nahs. We'll do an Outback Takehouse and then we'll piss off. So it should be a fun one, hopefully a quick one. I always say that, don't I, producer Gerald? And then we just go for an hour. Gerald's like, God damn it, Jim. Yes. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1125 of NBA Straya. Oh, let's go!
This is Joe Ingles, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
Watch out for the shack attack.
You better. I don't know, you better watch out for the shack attack if you're the hot tour girl. Did you see that, Gerald? It's like, I'm hanging out with Shaq. It's like, I don't know if you can fit that one. It's going to need a lot of hock toing. Better hop to it. Hock to. All right. Anyway, good start. Off we go. Let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Show, with a daily whoosh, or a daily whoosh. That's not bad. Hey, the Boomers squad got announced. And we talked about it on Friday. Look, here's the squad. Let's do it. Josh Giddey up. There you go. The Weet-Bix kid. Sure, no problems. Paddy Thrills, Paddy Mills, the legend. Dante, Kangaroo Kobe, sex him up, Exum. Dyson, the Vacuum Daniels. King Dally of Maryborough, first of his name. Smasher of Tins. Josh Greeny, Scott Green. Jingle and Joe Ingles. The Unabomber, Jack McVeigh, my best mate, Nick Kay, Rock'em Sock'em Block'em Jock'em Landale, the Rooster, Do-Up, the Great Barrier Reef, and Will, the Thrill Magnate. Now, you might think about this, go, Jim, who's missing from the list? Very obviously, it's Aussie Matty T. Matisse Thybulle. Where's Matisse? Give me Matisse. All I ever want is Matisse. It goes for art and it goes for basketball. That's how it rolls. Big Matisse fan across the board. Is he an impressionist? Gerald, I don't know. I can't remember. But he's very bloody good. Matisse Thybulle being left off this squad is an outrage. It makes no bloody sense. Gorge comes out and says, oh, well, you see in the second game against China, we finally got Greeny and Paddy and Jingles and Josh out there and away we went. It's like, how the fuck did you not have the squad, your 12, your team settled before the second game against a shit team like fucking China? What are we doing here? That is ridiculous. Now, a lot of this is also him going, oh, you see the competition at these spots between like the 10th and 11th and 12th dudes, if they're not playing, they get angry. Who fucking cares? Just take the dude. It's Aussie Matty T. If you need to fucking stop somebody, who's going to do it on this team now? Joe Ingles? He's 472 years old. You're taking the piss, Gorge. Come on, mate. I've got a better chance of stopping up. No, I don't. That's a lie. Now, to be honest, in our group is finalised. Talk about a group of death. We've got Canada, which has, I don't know, checks, notes, fucking all the good guards and wings in the NBA for them. Jesus. And what are we going to do? Roll Paddy Mills out there to fucking stop him? Not bloody likely. You need Aussie Matty T. You need Xavier Cooks just for defensive versatility, right? You go, hey, Matty, see that bloke over there? Go stop him. And he goes, fucking sure. If you can roll out a lineup with Dyson Daniels, Aussie Matty T, you can basically stop any sort of wing combo in the fucking world. And you know what we've done? We've gone, you know who's better than that? Dally. Now, you know me. Do we, Jim? Yes, you bloody do. All right, settle down. There is not a bigger fan in the world of King Dally and Jingler Joe Ingles, quite literally outside of their families, than your mate Jim. It literally goes me, everybody else. Me 1, 2, you're all fucking fighting for 2. At the same bloody time. What are we doing? Are we trying to win a medal in Paris, or are we paying tribute to the Boomers culture that won a fucking medal in Tokyo? That's the big question to me. It's like, cool, Dally, are we taking him because he's a fucking good bench dude? Is he literally on the team because he's a good bloke? Maybe, because it sort of seems that way. What we should be doing, ideally, is this is meant to be the change of the guard Olympics, right? I think we came out of that run through Tokyo and then into the World Cup, the 2023 World Cup, where we came fucking 10th, don't forget, and went, right, now we're set up for the youth movement through Paris, where we can take Jingles, we can take Paddy, everything else is up for grabs. We can go young, we can go athletic. It's a new look Boomers team. This is not it. I love my best mate Nick Kay. Love him. I love Jingling Joe Ingles. I love King Dally. But are we 100% sure that their roles, their fit, those players are the best right now in 2024? Are we picking this team on merit and performance, or are we picking them on fucking vibes? Because it sounds like fucking vibes. I'm fine with that. Dave Barlow, great vibes. Love that shit. But at the same time, you think about this. How do you win playing FIBA ball? Long athletic wing defenders, size and shooting. We have gone, actually, fuck that. How about 5 point guards? Like, what are we doing? It makes, Jim, Patty Mills is an off guard. Yeah, he is. And if you're taking Jingles for the simple fact, we put him out there in the offense saying, then why the fuck do we have so many guards? Why are you not playing Dante more? Why does Dyson not handle the ball much? What is going on here? I feel like I've taken crazy pills. It's insane to go, well, you see, the offense was really good once Jingles got out there. Why the fuck is Josh Giddey not just running everything for fucking 28 minutes of a 40-minute FIBA game? It's stupid. And when he's not doing it, give the ball to fucking Paddy. Have you not watched basketball? What is going on? Gorge knows more about basketball than fucking anybody. But wow, even not just taking Matisse's break in case of emergency defender where you go, fuck it, just throw him out there. He and Dyson for 2 minutes just to break shit up. Let's see what happens. No, we'll take Nick Kay, we'll take Dally, we'll take Jingles. What the fuck was going on? So, as I said, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to medal, or are you trying to pay tribute to the team that won a fucking medal and try to keep the vibes and keep the Boomer culture? Because Joe probably doesn't make this team if you're basing on merit and performance, right? He's had a rough bunch of years. Dally's probably offered as well. I love them more than anybody, obviously. But when you want to go, we're trying to boost this Boomers team into the future. We need to keep this Boomers culture rolling. We need to keep engaging those fans. We need to, build up basketball in this country, give ourselves the best shot at winning a medal. And I don't entirely know if I've actually seen this in this squad. As I said, I don't want to be proven wrong more than anything in my fucking life than on this. Like, it'd be awesome if they go, fuck you, Jim, we're going to win a fucking medal anyway. Awesome. But if we look old and slow and we've left fucking Matisse and Cookie behind, if we can't hit a shot and we've left fucking Chris Goulding behind, like, what are we doing? What are we fucking doing? It's like, this is so hard. It's not that hard. Stop fucking whinging. If you're going to take the good times, like telling Jack McVeigh and Will the Thrill Magnay, hey boys, you made the team, and just like this fucking great moment, awesome video. Loved every second of it. But it's so hard. Shut up about the hard stuff if you're going to take the good stuff as well. So, I feel like we probably had, this is the unpopular opinion of the day on today's show. I don't know if Jingles makes it. I fucking love Jingling Joe Ingles, but if you're going to take Jingles for the simple fact, we needed that other offensive creator, then leave Dally behind and take Matisse. You probably want to take Goulding as well, just because you know what you need at every point of every game, I reckon, in this Olympics? A shooter who's just a knockdown fucking 3-point dude. That's Goulding. That's McVeigh. The rest of this squad is very up and down when it comes to shooting, and I feel like we might have cooked it just a little bit. Gorge reckons he needs Jingle to settle the offense down. What do we need all these point guards for? What are we doing? The comeback story is amazing of King Dally, but jeez, I don't know. Look, talking about the Boomers coaching is a national pastime as well. It's BT Dubs. But wow, all I can see in my mind's eye is Dyson Daniels and MATISSE THYBULLE just causing all sorts of fucking havoc against Greece, against Spain, and against fucking Canada. And without them, the combo of them, like literally seeing it up close, God, it made a difference against China. You're like, holy shit. If you've seen Dyson Daniels up close, just look at his fucking arms. They're massive. Same with MATISSE. You're like, your arms are too big. What are you doing? They're too long. You're like the opposite of a T-Rex. It's fucking gnarly. What's that other weird dinosaur that they found where it's like got those giant, big fucking long ass arms on front of it? You're like, you're one of them. Anyway, so I think where we've landed is not taking MATISSE THYBULLE to this Olympics, where MATISSE is reportedly upset and went, what the fuck are you idiots doing? Why am I here? Fuck you, you're cool, fuck you. Jumps on a plane to go home. If this alienates MATISSE THYBULLE from the national team, then this could be like quite literally a fucking multi-year complete balls up of the highest degree. Because not only is he the best defender we've got on this team, he might be one of the best defenders in the entire fucking world. And you're like, nah, we need Delhi to wave a towel. What are we doing? I could wave a fucking towel. Get Dave Barlow's on the coaching staff. He'll be waving towels anyway. What the absolute fuck. So, gorgeous quote to Olgs. Olgs did a great job sort of breaking all this down. Talking about you're trying to establish this guy's number 10, this guy's 11, this guy's 12. It wasn't until game 2 against China that Dyson, Josh, Paddy and Jingles got on the floor together. When we got that group together in the second half, it became clear. We knew the strength of the other pieces, what pieces went well with that. How the absolute bug fuck do you not know what your team is before second game against a shit team like China? What is going on? It's absurd. Absolutely absurd to me. I don't know if we should be taking a bloke who's almost 37, who shot 33% from the floor in the last World Cup in 20 minutes a game, as well as a 33-year-old Dally who didn't even make that team over MATISSE and Cookie. Just to have that, I don't know, athletic positional variability, that defensive nous, I feel like that's a bit more important. Anyway, that all said, prove me wrong, boys. Blow it out my ass, he says. Gorge, coach the fucking shit out of him. All I want to kind of maybe also throw up there before we move on to the free agency gear is Paddy is a starter. Do we worry that he's not a great fit next to Josh? I'm just saying. We just start the backcourt of the Joshes. Josh Giddey, Josh Green. What do you think? Dyson Daniels at the 3 possibly, or Greeny at the 3, Dyson at the 2, whatever. And you've got wing defense with those two. You can play your 4 and 5. I don't like people going, oh, we'll play Doop and Jock next to each other. Fuck that. I just want Jock starting. I want more athleticism at the 4. Unfortunately, without fucking MATISSE there, that's a little bit cooked. And you're like, okay, here's Jingles. You're like, oh, God. McVeigh maybe as a starter? I don't know. Can't wait to see the next run of exhibition games against the USA, etc. But goddamn, what a weird curveball that was. No Aussie Matty T. Seriously, if we had have left Dally off this one, if we had have left Nick K off, do you think there would have been that much outrage? Probably not, and it's a bit weird. But I trust Gorge. I'm a little bit worried, though. Prove me wrong, boys. Prove me wrong. Medal time. All right. Let's take a quick break, come back with some NBA free agency gear right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk out some more NBA free agency and stuff after covering off a lot of the Boomers gear. Because look, we'll have plenty of time to talk about the Boomers and the squad. We hit on it on Friday as well in the video. And it's perplexing, it's weird, and it doesn't seem to make too much sense. And I feel like it's always fun where everyone's just like, yo, what the fuck? And like across the board, everyone's like, yo, what the fuck? The thing is, the last time everybody was kind of maybe like that was when they actually added Nick Kay to the squad ahead of like Jonah Bolden and shit. And yeah, proven wrong because Nick Kay was fucking awesome. They just need to do it again. My big problem is I just don't like fucking going, oh, we're chasing the vibes from the last team. You got to keep moving forward. You got to go right. Bite the bullet. The old blokes, they might be a little bit past it. If you want to keep them around for vibes, that's great. But you got to hand the fucking baton over at some point. Anyway, free agency and trades, the latest updates right there. Jingling Joe Ingles, love him to death. He's now a Timberwolf. It's pretty cool. Following in the footsteps of what? Big Lucian, Luke Longley, Shane the Hammer Heel, Jawai, Creaky. That means they've had 5 Aussies. I think that might be the most. So, interesting move for the Wolves. Sort of replaces Slow-Mo Kyle Anderson with Slow-Mo Joe, which is good. I think just gives them like a little bit more sort of fun shit off the bench. Might be just good vibes dude as well. And they couldn't afford Slow-Mo. They replace him on the cheap with Jingles. To be honest, the Wolves, they kind of just go as far as like Ant-Man is going to take them this year. If Cat can step up, cool. Jingles, this might be kind of the swan song, I reckon, this year. 37. It's going to get pretty tough after this, so good luck to him. I hope the Wolves kick some ass, take some names, and he gets to win a title. That'd be fun. Hey, Johnny Tins Furphy. That's right, the next generation. It's like Star Trek Generations over here. That was that weird movie, wasn't it, Gerald, where it was like, here's the old dudes and here's the new dudes. It's like, I'm Patrick Stewart. And then there's like, I'm the other guy. What am I, Captain Kirk? Away he goes. Not a big Trekkie. What was the movie with the whales? Anyway, Johnny Tins Furphy. The Pacers actually signed him. He was the second round pick. You might remember he slipped to 35. We had to do 87 million hours of live streaming until he got fucking drafted. But he signs a 4-year, $8.59 million deal, which is one of those classic second round deals, right? Where it's like 3 years plus a team option for the 4th, where it's guaranteed, but it's also like at the minimum. So very cool deal for the Pacers. The best part though is that for Tins Furphy, he's out there and he's actually signed. So he's not a draft and stash. He's going to be with the team. So that's very cool. Love that for Furfs. Love that for Tins. Who doesn't mind a tin? Get him, Johnny Tins. Now I'm sort of thinking about it. I'm like, fuck, he'd be good on this Boomers team. Bit of shooting. Anyway, other biggest news that's happened the last couple of days. So we last did a show, what was that, on Thursday, I want to say. We did the LeBron sort of, the Lakers contract video as well on Friday, as well as the Boomers squad one. And as I said at the time, they needed him to take a haircut on his maximum contract, LeBron, to basically sit them underneath the second apron. That's what he did, which is very nice of him, I guess, considering he's completely taken control of the entire organization. You'd expect him to go get fucked. But so what he has done is signed, instead of the $104 million 2-year contract, he signed the $101.35 million contract over 2 years, including a 15% trade kicker, which is hilarious because he's got a no trade clause. And he's like, well, if I do decide to fucking get out of here, I'm also going to take some cash with me. Check this out, which is pretty funny. So it puts them, I love how he gave back $3 million. No, he just signed for less. He didn't give them back any money. But because of that, the savings that the Lakers get puts them below the second apron, so they continue to be able to do shit. Doesn't fucking put a hold on their future firsts and stuff like that. So that's good. They can actually aggregate salary for a trade, etc. D'Angelo Russell's like, God damn it, fuck, here we go again. So that's kind of cool. That was the other big news the other day. But outside of that, DeMar DeRozan there. He's off to Sacramento. Sacramento going, hey, we're fucking light years ahead, mate. Check this out. You know what we're really, really good at? 3-point shooting, spreading the floor, playing at pace. Why don't we get DeMar DeRozan? Everyone's like, have they seen DeMar play? Oh, God. I don't think they have. DeMar DeRozan, noted non-3-point shooter. Likes a lot of twos. So he keeps his floor is always a bit higher, right? So there's a little bit of consistency for DeMar, which is probably what Sacramento looked at when they're like, well, we'll piss off Harrison Barnes to San Antonio. And so the full trade, I think, is they sign and trade for DeMar, 3-year deal, $70 million or whatever. Harrison Barnes goes to the Spurs along with Chris Duarte. Duarte, second-round picks and cash go to the Bulls. Sure. Chicago, like, fucking, we don't know what we're doing anymore. This is great. We got something back for DeMar. It's like, you could have done this ages ago and you would have gotten more. You're fucking idiots. Sacramento, meanwhile, are just like, it's an arms race in the West. We've now got DeMar DeRozan. You're like, I don't know if that's helping you guys, but sure. I think the thing that they're probably looking at is like DeMar DeRozan at least is more of a consistent scorer than Harrison Barnes. He never gets hurt. We're all fucking laughing. This is good. And you're like, okay, sure. Does it really, really, really boost Sacramento's chances? It probably gives them a little bit more consistency during the regular season. Then in the playoffs, it's going to get that little bit tougher as they just go, well, there's De'Aaron Fox. There's the Souvlaki King. There's DeMar DeRozan. Am I afraid of Keegan Murray now? They need a leap from him this year. Outside of that, Devin Carter, their rookie guard, love him. He also has hair like he's like, he's the guitarist in an 80s metal band. I fucking love him. Absolutely love him. He's also getting surgery. So he should be all right to start the season, but it's a bit worrisome. Anyway, DeMar DeRozan to the Kings. I don't know how the Spurs just came out winners out of like just hanging out. They're like, oh, fuck it, we've got Harrison Barnes now. What do we give up? Nothing. This is awesome. Just a bit of cap space. So they've, added Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, Wembanyama's like actual NBA players. This is fucking awesome. Kings, great job. Bulls, sure. What are we doing? What a weird fucking setup. I don't know. What I did like was Caleb Martin to the Sixers. That's right. The man who turned into the combination of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen when he beat the fucking absolute heads in of the Boston Celtics 2 years ago. The Heat were just like, we're good. Philly's like, fucking sick. We'll take him. I love that fit for Philly. They just get way more wing dudes. They replace Buddy Hield, who goes to Golden State. We'll talk about that in a second. Caleb Martin lands in Philly. That's fucking fantastic. Behind, next to, around Paul George. Kelly Oubre's back there as well. That's pretty cool. They had to waive Paul Reed, but God, don't mind that. Caleb Martin to the Sixers gives them a bit more three-point shooting, a little bit more fucking defense. To be honest, you just replaced Tobias Harris the last 4 years, making a fucking max contract with Caleb Martin. What's the drop-off? Probably fuck all. So he probably would have fit better. He's not afraid to shoot. Tobias Harris is like, oh, I might miss, I'm afraid. Anyway, Dario the homie Saric. I love that. He's signed with Denver. It was also weird because they're like, yeah, they targeted Dario Saric. It's like, did they? Why? Because he was cheap, basically. Again, position of variability for the Nuggets. Sure. Simone Fontecchio goes back to the Detroit Pistons, 2 years, $16 million. They will pair him with Malik Beasley, who moved from Milwaukee to Detroit. Someone's got to get paid. Got to spend that money somehow, Detroit. Miles Bridges returns to the Charlotte Hornets, 3 years, $75 million, despite being the living, walking, talking piece of shit that he is. Great job, Miles Bridges. That sucks, especially sucks for our man Josh Green, because it means there's less minutes on the wing there for Charlotte. And Miles Bridges fucking sucks. God, I hate that dude. Now, what I mentioned as well was the 6-team deal, and somehow Buddy Hield is on Golden State. So the 6-team deal involves the Klay Thompson trade. So it includes our man Josh Green as well. So all of the stuff that got talked about last week in your free agency and your trades and stuff, they all got ratified this week. So basically everything sort of settles down. They all figure it out. And this is a 6-team trade right now. So Dallas get Klay Thompson and a 2025 second rounder. Minnesota get 2031 second round pick swaps, a 2025 second rounder, and some cash. Golden State get Kyle Anderson from Minnesota and Buddy Hield from the Sixers. Neat. The Nuggets just get some money. No one's entirely sure why. They do. Charlotte get Josh Green, Reggie Jackson, because he leaves the Nuggets, a 2029 second rounder and a 2030 second rounder, and the Sixers get a 2031 second round pick as well. And you're like, oh, okay. So they turn Buddy Hield who seemed like an ideal fit around Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, but couldn't fucking sniff the court when it mattered, which is a bit of a worry. Now he's on Golden State, and everyone's like, oh, fucking watch out for Golden State. Don't mind their off-season, bro. Check it out. It's like, yeah, they got a bunch of shit players. You're building something, and it just might be a tower of shit. I'm just saying. It's still built. Anyway, so weird vibes there, but a big trade, kind of fun. Other little bits and bobs. The Hornets, they waived Poku. Oh, Paul went out for Poku. They also waived Davis Bertans. The Latvian laser? Anybody? No. The Spurs also traded Devontae Graham in a second round to the Hornets too to basically fit in some spots there, and that's kind of cool. Outside of that, Derek White got his big extension from the Celtics, 4-year, $126 million contract. It's 118 guaranteed and like $8 million is in bonuses. 15% trade kicker, 4th-year player option, always kind of fun. Franz Wagner, hello. Got a 5-year extension worth up to $270 million. Not bloody bad if you're Franz. And then, I mean, outside of this, who's kind of left? It's not a giant amount because after we've had the Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield, Devontae Graham moves, outside of this, there probably won't be too much more going out, moving around because there's not that much money left. Utah and Lauri Markkanen seems to basically be the last sort of domino waiting to fall. There was reports coming out today that, yeah, Danny Ainge has kind of just kicked the tires on a bunch of Lowry trades, and he's like, yeah, unless some motherfucker gives me like the Mikal Bridges haul, piss off idiots, and no one's willing to part with them at the moment, which seems fair because if Utah are looking at Lauri Markkanen and going, well, you know what's more valuable to us? Like 5 first-rounders from some team as opposed to like finished Dirk, then maybe he's not the solution to your questions, right? Like if Golden State are like, oh, fuck, maybe we'll go get Lauri Markkanen. Does he, like, how far does he push them in the West if Utah are trying to build around him and it's like, this is still all a bit shit? I don't know. It's pretty interesting though. Lauri Markkanen is a fascinating test case in how much you value in basketball players because I feel like next to Steph, stuff like that, in other places, he'd be next to Wemby in San Antonio. Maybe that's the team that's like going, shit, we've got a bunch of these picks from fucking like Minnesota and Atlanta. Maybe we'll kick them over to Danny Ainge and we'll go get Lowry. Possibly. We'll see what happens. That might be the last thing that happens, I reckon, during this sort of trade period, free agency period, because it is all slowing down quite dramatically. So, let's do some yeah-nahs. All right. Matty O, Adam Silver trading all the Aussies to fuck our Olympic prep. Yeah, nah, yes. How weird was it that they're just like hanging out in bloody like training camp and it's like Josh Giddey gets traded, Josh Green gets traded, Dyson gets traded. You're like, bloody hell, mate. And then Jingles goes and signs with the Wolves as well. It's like, come on, man. Let him fucking settle. Just like, is Jock going to get traded like just before the Olympics as well? Just to fuck with his head? Thanks a lot, Adam. Not a problem, Jimmy. I try to do it. Oh, the other little bits of news about that sort of stuff as well. Team USA doing their scrimmages and Ant-Man's like, yeah, man, I'm the fucking best one here. Everyone's like, all right, settle down, dickhead. Kevin Durant hurt his like calf. It's like, oh shit, watch out. Not a surprise because he's 427 years old too. So kind of fun though. I also love that people are like, hey, this USA team, it's pretty weird. And I'm like, yeah, it's fucking weird that they've got a French Cameroonian dude saying he's from the US. Joel Embiid's like, to be honest, English is my second language. It's like, okay, that's great. Good times. What else we got? Another Matty O one. Slow Joe replaces Slow Mo, Kyle Anderson. Yeah, nah, good on him. Yeah, look, I actually didn't mind this one because Slow Mo Kyle Anderson was sort of the 3-point threat of him out there. If you can just replace that at what, a fucking third of the cost with Jinglin' Joe Ingles, then Slow Mo Joe replaces Slow Mo Kyle Anderson pretty nicely. So that's pretty cool. Dan Droscher. So back to the Boomers. Yeah, nah, I'm so angry. This is the most unbalanced team. I could be talked into K over Cooks, maybe even Delhi over Goulding, but no Tybal and Magne reeks of Gorge playing NBL favoritism. Yeah, nah. I feel like, I don't know if NBL favoritism is right there, so I'm going to say nah for Dan Josh's thing. But I think, for the like unbalanced team aspect. So if you're going to play NBL favoritism, Gorge, they just signed Xavier Cooks to the Kings, don't forget. Like, if Gorge is going to take anyone from the NBL, he's going to take his fucking star player that he just signed. So the Delhi one over Goulding, like, that's what a 33-year-old point guard in Delhi and a 35-year-old, I want to say Bubbles is, shooting guard. I'd rather still probably take Bubbles just because of the pure fucking shooting. You saw it against China a couple of times where he just gets unconscious. You can roll him out there for a couple of minutes per game, off he goes. The weirdest part for me is like Gorge going, when he says that 10, 11, 12 players, is that a shot at Goulding? Just going, hey, Chris, can you be a little bit more fucking on point on the bench? You've got Dave Barlow on your Melbourne United coaching staff. He'll teach you how to wave a towel, mate. Anyway, so they take Delhi over him. But I think the balance thing is the weirdest part of that. When you've got Dyson Daniels, Dante Exum, Patty Mills, Josh Giddey, and Delhi all on the fucking same team. It's too much. It's just one too many. Give me a little bit more shooting and then give me a little bit more perimeter size. Very weird. At least McVay made the squad. Which McKeegan sort of gets into this one. So Brad McKeegan sends in, Jim, just taking a step back for a second. How good is it that in 2019 we're picking Barlow as a glorified towel waver, no respect to DB20, love the man, to now leaving out one of the best perimeter defenders in the world getting around in Matty T? The future is brighter than Dennis Rodman's haircuts. See, I'd push back and say, it is great that we can leave out someone like Matisse, but we're taking fucking Dally and Jingles? Like, the future is brighter. Is it? The future is meant to be fucking now. Like, this is meant to be the exact team where you go, Dyson Daniels, Josh Green, Dante Exum, Josh Giddey. Give it all up for the young dudes. Like, you can't be playing Jingling Joe Ingles 20 minutes in a fucking Olympic game anymore, right? He played 20 minutes a game in the World Cup. We got fucking slaughtered. That's why you roll Matisse out there. You switch around their minutes. I think Matty T averaged, the 9th most minutes on the squad in the World Cup? Jingles is right up there as well. Switch those around. You're feeling a little bit better. If Aussie Matty T can just get that 3-ball dropping, which he does go through these stretches, people will point out, Matty T, not a good shooter, not a good shooter. He does have stretches where he goes, check this out, I'm just going to go on a fucking streak for the next 3 weeks and hit everything. And then he goes ice cold for about a month and a half. But still, it's there. And the future is brighter than Dennis Rodman's haircuts, but by the same token, like, you've got to let the future settle in. You can't be cutting Aussie Matty T. You can't be cutting Cookie. Like, the past is the past. You got to let it go sometimes. Just saying. Time for Outback Takehouse. Oh, yes. It's Monday at Outback. You know what that means. Yep. Just jumped on the old Treadley with squid number 2 this morning to go to daycare. And you know what? He snagged a magpie with his bare hands out of the fucking air. Just went, come here, you. Bit its head off and away he goes. Chucked in the backpack on my back. I'm like, that's not bad for a 2-year-old. Bloody hell. I've taught him well. So now, guess what? Today's entrees are magpie wings. Only at Outback. And today's flame grilled take is Gorge is just lulling the rest of the world into a fucking little bit of a false sense of security. He's like, we're so fucking good right now, we can even leave out MATISSE THYBULLE. Check this out, dickheads. Everybody's laughing at us, and then whapang, the Aussies are winning gold. Only at Outback. I hope so. So, this is it for today. That's basically, I think, all the stuff that's fit to print. The biggest one is I want to throw this out to everybody else. What do you think our chances are? I think I threw this out on Facebook today. I haven't actually checked in on what everyone's thinking. But our group, so Canada, Greece, Spain, group of death, how many games are we winning? Are we getting through the group? Yeah, nah. Let us know what you reckon. That's what I want to know. I want to hear what you all think, because we're going to come back, I reckon, on Wednesday or Thursday this week, basically wrap up all the free agency with all the free agency winners and losers. Basically, we'll go team by team to wrap up most of free agency, and then we'll probably take next week off in a bit of preparation for the Olympic stuff. because we now have the schedule out for those games, and it looks like it'd be very, very, very easy for us to do some live streams and stuff for the Boomers campaign. So I want to know what everybody else thinks about our chances in the Olympics with this squad. So send in your DMs, hit us up on Twitter, Facey, IG, all that good stuff. Let me know what you reckon, and we'll dig into it on Thursday's show, Wednesday or Thursday, whatever we end up doing this week. So sound out. Let us know. Because I know there's a lot of frustration, a lot of confusion, a lot of second guessing, and I'm a bit weirded out by it as well. I'm just saying. So, all right. Let's bloody well do it. Whoa, he's gone to the wrong bit. Oh, it's still playing in the background, that one. There we go. So, that'll do us for today. The Boomers squad is there. Free agency is there. DeMar to the Kings, sure thing, why not? Who is left? Not much. Not much at all. Can't wait to find out where Isaac Okoro lands, or Luke Kennard, the Duckman. Gary Terrence, Trent Darby Jr. What of him? Oh, Bronny James went off the other day as well and shot 2 of 9. And we're getting fucking updates in the ESPN app. What are we doing? What a world. But we'll be back on Wednesday or Thursday this week as well. As I mentioned, we'll do winners and losers of all of free agency. We'll go team by team. We'll do all 30 of them. Wrap up all their sort of moves and what they've done, what they've achieved, how they're looking. Outside of that, we'll also sort of, get to your queries and qualms about the Boomers' chances in Paris, because I know a lot of folks out there have got a lot of questions. So send them in. In the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG. We're all over the socials. You know that. Get around NFL Straya as well as the AFL Today Show, the Cricket Today Podcast, the Football Today Podcast. Hold all tickets as well. Rate, review, star, subscribe, roll, smasher. Simple as that. What is it? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. You can watch this on YouTube. It's fun as. Gerald puts a lot of time and effort into it. He does. He really does. So rate, review it. Get around NBAstraya.com/shop, or just click through on the socials. Get a t-shirt. I'm wearing one of the ones today. Looks nice. The white one. Get a coffee mug. Got that one here too. Look at that. Very special. Very nice. Get a stubby holder. Whatever you need to do. The hoodie has come in awesome the last week or so. Jesus, the hoodies are great. Anyway, big thanks go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. They rule, so do House Hats, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinated, Goldmines, Ramshackle Army, iOS, Sex Jedi, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show, so smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Straya supports Australian bands, so should you. And that's it. No skit today. It's always weird to do in the office. It just freaks Gerald out. So so we'll catch you later this week, you dickheads. It'll be a Wednesday or Thursday show. We'll do winners and losers from all the free agency, wrap up some more Boomers thoughts, and launch into it. But I'll tell you what, lots of head-scratching decisions out there right now. It's a bit bloody weird. But until then, we'll catch you Wednesday, Thursday. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would you? And later, night.